All right, traders. Hey, welcome on back here this Tuesday afternoon. Well, it's not the last day of the week yet, but it's the last day of the month, September 30th. Great to have all of our students and members alike rejoining us here inside our live trading room. I saw Leda, John, Michael, Uday, Jas, got Tim joining us here, Barb. Let me get a quick sound check to begin. Make sure all of our students and members are here, and not just here, but make sure there's no audio mishaps right now. Make sure everyone got me here loud and clear inside our live trading room or otherwise on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Probably for you folks right there on social, popping up lower left. Cyber Trading You, that's our social handle on X, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Be a friend, tell a friend, look at the follow and subscribe buttons down below there. But Barbara, Kevin, Farzad, Uday, Charles, Wiz, a bunch of us here at least. And I'll tell you what, I've been on the stick pretty much up until this point this afternoon. Minimal breakage here today, and I've kept myself hydrated. But with that said, I know that Fausto's teaching class this afternoon, the Phase 3 stock course, our advanced class. So, it was great speaking with a number of our students here right now, just joining us in our private coaching. Rich, I'll tell you what, you've even put up some record numbers today too. I think you've been on the stick most of your day as well. Hey, it is always a good time to learn, but coming off of the summer, this is what we train ourselves to do. This is now our regular season, at least from September towards the end of this calendar year. So I'm looking forward towards this afternoon, and Fausto, I know, is looking forward towards the class that he has. So again, that'll be at 3 o'clock, 3:05 Eastern for all of us here live. I think that Rich may have stepped out here just for a second. He posted it right at 2 o'clock. Let me actually repost this here for all of our gold, platinum, and diamond level CTU students. Again, keep in mind, you have our class coming up ahead. Now, though, let's talk about some of the trades from earlier today, the morning, right now. We'll start off on this monstrosity, this disaster, this piece of you-know-what, this IBG. Hey, I say this with every small cap, low float stock. You can't trust these things as far as you could throw them. So looking at the long-term graph, yeah, this thing is some no-name loser. Lower highs even today, historically. So did we have high hopes for this stock? Did we have giant expectations? Not necessarily, but hey, if the stock could break above resistance and if it could run from resistance, the hope is to see that resistance flip into a support. And then from there, maybe there's a chance for a higher high. Maybe there's a chance for a new move up after. So actually, just before heading into the mid-afternoon, this was garbage, at least earlier. It was cutting through up and down, left and right. But it started to come back up, right? So it makes me say, this thing's a tease. I don't want to call this out if there's not as much of a need to or reason to and whatnot. Well, it kept stabbing this area and it popped above it a bit. So the hope was to see resistance flip into support. 460, and then you should also trust the 50-cent level here. But basically, long story short here, right? This held support, but it failed to run up higher. It failed to not only break over 5, but flip 5 into a support, move up more from there. So we're done with this thing. We're not going to waste our time on this. If it wants to pop up for us, we probably won't focus on it, even if it does. There's hopefully stocks that trend better than this year heading into the afternoon. I say this pretty frequently, and I don't know where the line was drawn necessarily today for this, but what do I say? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, also shame on you. And you know what? Maybe 3 times, even once more, but eventually shame on me, right? So you can keep trying on this thing if it's not going the other way, but there just comes a point where you say, I am just wasting time, and there's other stocks that likely should be moving a hell of a lot better. All right. So let me just show you the market right now. SPY has also just been a mess today too. It's just been in this like kind of pennant pattern, almost like an inverse pennant, like a megaphone type of deal here. It's kind of building higher highs, but lower lows, generally speaking, throughout the day. Pretty interesting there, right? So that just leads to a lot of indecision within the stock market. I really didn't feel that great about a lot of name brand stocks today. One of them that did really well, NVIDIA. NVIDIA did pretty damn nice today, breaking new all-time highs. I believe this one, right? Breaking above multi-week long resistance there too. I could put this on our main watch list by the end of this meeting. I want to see what we have just across the gainers and losers though first. Just wanted to acknowledge that NVIDIA had a great morning today, right? Definitely going to keep this on our radar at least into tomorrow. Hood had a good pop today, but it kind of fizzled out pretty quick. Maybe there could be more room on this trade heading into the afternoon. What else? Name brand wise, maybe a Tesla? Tesla's actually trying to squeeze up right here. I didn't really think about this too much in the morning, but better to find this now than never. Nice to see this here. Maybe I come back to Tesla by the end of this meeting, right? Point being, for Charles, Tim, Wiz, Farzad, Andrea, I know you're here. Carlos, Kathleen, a lot of our regular students with us each and every day. This wasn't necessarily the greatest day of the week, greatest day of the month. Actually, in fact, greatest day of the week. Monday was technically better than today. So with that, listen, we're going to find a couple of like weird, wonky days in the market where the market doesn't really trend as well, where normally there would be some things that would stick better. Hopefully there will be heading into this afternoon, right? The day is not over yet. So maybe we could have a really strong close, and that makes up for a lot of lost time here today, or lack of activity otherwise. ZURA had a nice pop earlier on this morning. As we go from top to bottom right now, the ZURA trade, hey, good push, higher lows still, and not only is it that, it's holding over the VWAP technically still, and it's got a liquid enough order book. Wouldn't mind actually putting this on our watch list just to begin. ZURA, and hopefully pushes up higher towards the original HOD here. Hopefully there's stocks that are trending even better now at this point. Let me go back on Wolf here for a second. WOLF. I said something yesterday, and that was my ignorance speaking, quite frankly. I saw some news about their float. They're doing something with their shares. I kind of just said that. But what I added, though, is like, I thought this was a glitch. I thought this was like a glitch on my TradeStation platform where like there's no possible way Wolf Speed actually popped up over 1,000%. Had to have been some glitch, right? No glitch. This was real deal. This actually popped up overnight 1,000%. It tanked and then it moved back up. This is a freak show stock. This is a circus stock. If you want to be a circus performer, then maybe this would be the trade for you. But we have other trades that are easier, other stocks that we can spend better time on, that have better liquidity, that don't give you a chance of getting destroyed on one little candle. I'd say the same for the ANAB here too, right? This isn't up to 1,000%, but just looking at the order book, the orders out there, or maybe lack thereof, there's just easier stocks to find the icebergs on. SPRC, another choppy trade. This one pushed up early in the morning, came back down fast though. This one, AIIO, has been a pretty interesting trade. Nice stock over the last couple of weeks on and off that we've traded here. Higher lows at least, so pretty rugged over time. It hasn't exactly broken a real true higher high, or if it did, it just kind of wicked back down pretty quickly there. It's testing a resistance at 250, so that's your resistance right now. Good setup. It's kind of like watching the grass grow, though, right? It's kind of like watching the paint dry a bit. So maybe there's something moving even better. Jack up my volume criteria right now for that too. CRWG pushed up earlier, but dead. Same with the core weave trade. This is the ETF. I did call out BACT, BKKT. I just called this one out a moment ago, actually. And I'll show you what I was looking for here. Pretty simple in terms of seeing a big iceberg order pop up on the bid. So I wrote this to Barbara, Kathleen, a lot of us here, Genevieve, Estefanos, Chandra here, just mentioning that you had a 17,000 share order on the bid at 29.80. Hey, it's pushed up pretty nicely since. So good to see. And because the volume allowed this to push up so nicely, I'm actually going to put this on our list. This one, though, again, be careful. Bad order book, though, otherwise. At least this had some, iceberg helping the stock push up. It's closer to the highs there. I'm going to add one casino freak show stock. This may as well be it. That may as well be it. But otherwise, let's see if there's anything looking even better. United Foods or United Natural Foods here, but pushing up pretty well. DPRO, this one I was looking for a better move off of $9. I took a tiny loss on this trade from $9, but I was looking for this to flip resistance into support. And actually, on like two separate instances before I even took my own trade, it failed to hold support here, sliced right below it. And then even here, sliced right below it. All right, well, I didn't even have any emotion tied to this move here. I wasn't looking at this trade at this time. So I'm just sitting here thinking like, all right, well, if it's going to try and kick back up and above resistance here, it's going to run higher, then it's got to hold support then at 9, right? And Well, it would need to if it was going to run higher, but it didn't do that. And with that, I'm not expecting it to run higher. So I took a dinky loss. I got out on this thing at 890. Boy, happy I did that. So now at this point, this D Pro trade is done. We're moving on to greener pastures. BE, greener pastures. No brainer with this move here now. Yeah, absolutely. Bloom Energy. This thing has been just an animal. I mean, obviously filling a gap from last week and then some, but just look at the chart. This is where we tell you all the time the trend is your friend. You do not want to be the hero out there trying to short the stock at the highs or buying the stock right at the very bottom. Bad entry management. So, whatever the reason for this stock to be going back up is, well, the trend showed it first, right? At least this ended up bottoming out off of prior wicks and lows and then came back up after. So for right now, absolutely add that BE trade to our list. Anything else here? Guts. This one a little bit slower, but actually, last week we looked at this stock. It was on our watch list, or if it wasn't on our list, it was just kind of there. A little slow at the time, but it's pushing up a little bit better and more now. I'll add it to our list. Obviously, as I'm doing this, just realize as I'm putting it on the list, yeah, a little slow. Might be a little time consuming, but pretty much your straightforward category one type of trade. Space having a decent day today. SPCE. Path, this one was just pop and drop. I wasn't looking to short this, but I was looking to see support eventually build here right off of 14. Broke below it pretty quick. So you know what that means. When it breaks below support and drops, support flips into resistance. So that's exactly what happened there. We'll focus back on Path at least tomorrow or later this week. Hey, we told you to keep your eyes on Donut here, at least, over time from last week into this week. The whole thing with Cash Patel disclosing a position in Donut looks like it's at highs back from late August into mid September here right now. Interesting play. Very interesting play. I like it here for right now, and there could be a lot more room should we happen to see resistance flip into support. All right. So that's kind of it from the gainer side there, right? Actually wrong. Last one from the gainer side. Pfizer. So some news came out mid-afternoon, or maybe it was even in the morning today, but Trump made an announcement with Pfizer saying that they made a commitment to drastically lowering their medication and drugs and so forth. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to be said from that, from big pharma, from the administration, whatever it is. Either way, there's a reason why this is going up. And even if there wasn't a news reason, well, clearly we're going to focus on the upward move here. Broke above resistance at 25 a little while ago, and it flipped it pretty well into support. So pretty clean move from there. Yeah, absolutely got to add the Pfizer trade to our list. Maybe the other pharma stocks could be going up too. mRNA maybe. It's up a little bit. Johnson & Johnson, it's up 2%, a little bit more actually. But I think the news was specific to Pfizer. So that's up the most. I say it all the time. You don't need to trade the whole sector. Trade the one that's benefiting the most from it, or the ones that are benefiting the most. Here in this case, I'm just going to put Pfizer. That's all. That's all we need. Keep it simple, right? All right, let's hop over to the loser side here, though. Chandra, I got your question right here, so absolutely going to answer it just once I finish up this last scan. Flies down. Better than fly being up. All right, no, seriously, DraftKings. Whoa, DraftKings took a huge hit. I don't know what happened here. Earnings or downgrade or sports betting kind of losing its lust? What's going on here? Sinks despite major NBC Universal Sports advertising partnership. They announced a multi-year collaboration across expansive sports portfolio. That happened yesterday morning at 8 o'clock. Didn't even realize. Wow, this barely even moved. I mean, it dropped at the open, but slingshotted. That's kind of like a status quo type of move. It wouldn't really think too much of that there. Uh, well, you know what? I got to put this on our list now. I feel like we missed a lot of this short already. But you know what? Better now than never. I mean, we'll see if there's more to it on the downside. But I haven't even really looked long term. How is this doing long term? It's just stuck in this consolidation here. Look at this, back from beginning of last year in March, even up until here in beginning of September, that area held pretty nicely as resistance. Definitely not a great swing trade chart, unfortunately, there for DraftKings. DocuSign taking a huge hit. Etsy dropping back down here today, too. A lot of these, actually, I could just slip on our main list here right now. Snapchat down here, actually, I could see myself adding Snapchat. Pretty crappy company long term. You are what your record says you are, right? So, is this the Cleveland Browns of stocks? I don't know. It kind of looks like it. My apologies to everyone from Cleveland there. But seriously, Snapchat, actually, I could add to our watch list right now. The U Trade, absolutely, I could see myself adding. There's a lot that's down right now. Rocket just took a huge hit. More in terms of recency bias and this drop happening in front of us here. I actually will just add RKT. What's the news here on Rocket? Not Rocket Lab, just Rocket Mortgages. I mean, this is from 8 o'clock in the morning, guys, so that's not some breaking news headline. Uh-oh. What's going on here? Who's talking? Who's yapping right now? Not Powell here this time, but Gabagool, Goolsby, whatever his name is. Feds Goolsby says now in an unusual low firing environment. Feds Collins says if the economy meets expectations, blah, 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 blah. So what, did the whole market just sink here? No. All right. What the hell's going on with Rocket then? RKT. This just happened right now. There's got to be some late breaking news on either the housing market or RKT maybe specifically, but either way, better now than never. We'll add this to our list. See if there's anything else looking even better as a short, though. I mean, there's a lot of potential shorts. I don't need to put every single one on our list here at this point, but Webull, if you're able to get the shares, looks pretty good. MGM dropping off pretty steadily here, too. What is this, like the COVID days? You got the casino stocks all down here today. It's next to the cruise lines, the airlines. All right. So you know what? If I'm going to be picky and choosy from the losers list here today, I got to add RKT. I like the volatility on the Unity trade. This has some, life to it up and down. So this looks like lower highs equating into a potential break of support. HIMS is down today. I know that. The ETF is down double. So HIMS is down almost 5%. I don't really see a need to put this on our list right now. The Snapchat trade, a little slow for my liking. The company sucks. It's probably going to keep dropping. But, and this is FanDuel. So it's not even DraftKings that's down. It's like really all of the sports betting stuff, huh? Flutter Entertainment. Yeah, FanDuel's down huge today too. DraftKings is just the much more tradable one in terms of price. I'm going to take a look into this. And I think GENI is also, this is a sports betting company as well. So I'm just kind of thinking about that here. Another one, Sports Trader Group, SRAD. This one's at the lows. I could actually see myself putting this on our main list. Oh, God, this thing's about to fall off a freaking cliff. This already jumped off the high diving board already. It's already in midair going down. You got support right here, and then once again retesting. This thing looks like it's about to snap. So this could be a really interesting trade. I'm going to pair this one with the DraftKings. Sports SRAD, Sports Trader Group, whatever. We like it here for right now. All right, so a couple questions coming in here briefly, not just from our trading room, but also from the YouTubes here, right? Real briefly from Anna, they had a change of stock, referring to the Wolf trade there. Yeah, I saw something with their stock, with the float, whatever it was. I'll even take further, looking on that later on today once the market closes, once I got some time here. From Chandra, hope you're enjoying your time with us, Chandra. New here, what is an iceberg and what is its significance? Chandra, quick question, and I just asked to ask, were you a part of our workshop yesterday? I taught a live workshop at 12 o'clock Eastern right here. I do that every Monday as part of just this trading room. And if you didn't have a chance to check that out, I'll even link you to the recording of it via YouTube. we simulcast it. It's in our room. It's on YouTube together, but we'll send you the link. We'll actually put that here in this chat. Rich, I think that you're back right now, right? So if you want to just, Rich, can you just copy and paste the Traders Talk recording that's on our YouTube channel, just so Chandra could see it? All of our new trial members here otherwise. I see Kevin from New York, Lucian. Double check to see where you're from, Lucian. But otherwise, if you're just testing our room out for this week from Romania, Lucian. So, just to say otherwise, if you had missed out on our workshop from yesterday, you could always rewatch it afterwards or even coming up here. But I gave like a 60-minute long workshop going over icebergs, going over level 3, going over the significance of that, level 4 on top. All right, so we will look to send you the recording of that. We'll put it in this chat just as soon as I finish up. Michael, yesterday was National Coffee Day. Odds were good for donut to have a little pop, but how about Dunkin' Donuts then, right? What's the or like Starbucks? Starbucks is down today, Mike. I mean, it was up yesterday though. But no, the whole thing with donut, just telling it's because of Kash Patel and his position that he disclosed. It was back a week and a half ago. This is when it popped. So just pointing out that's pretty much the main reason there, but it's all a matter of charting now at this point. You could have the world's greatest catalyst out there. If no one's buying the stock, we're not expecting a move. That's the key, right? Yeah, exactly. So John gave you some good insight there, Chandra, as far as just icebergs. Appreciate that, John. Thank you so much, John W., platinum student there. Let's see what else we got. Anything else, folks? Looking good? From the Shadow on YouTube right now. Appreciate you, Shadow. Are you guys day trading? If yes, how does the pattern day trade rule play out? We do both. We day trade and we swing trade. A lot of these small cap, no name stocks, though, you do not want to swing trade. So, that's where I just said even earlier, some of these stocks like IBG, whatever. This thing was a hot mess earlier. I'm not going to put this on our list, even if it's inching back up here. We're not going to get teased by this 1,000 times over. I'll only be teased by a stock 999 times over. Point being is that this stock, we will not swing trade. You can't trust this stock one bit. But in NVIDIA, we absolutely will look to put focus on both day trade or as a swing trade, either way. Now, with the pattern day trade rule, though, coming up, just want to point out, I think that they're doing away with the 25,000 and pretty much it's going to be like a 2,000 minimum. It allows you to have more ammo. It allows you to have more trades per day, right? But I just want everyone to realize, even if you had the 25,000, limit or restriction, it's all about education. It's all about knowing why these stocks are making the moves that they're making. I say this just out loud. I say this I say this in a hopefully slightly funny way. You don't know who people are online, right? I mean, let's just be honest. Like, Billy Bob out there might have mommy and daddy's money, might be some like 22-year-old kid with like $750,000. Just because he has $750,000 doesn't mean he's a good trader, right? You might be a degenerate gambler. You might be an alcoholic going through some personal demons, right? Listen, I hear it from certain members that join us, every year, not often, but everyone's going through their own problems, right? So just because you have the money doesn't mean that you're a good trader. And for someone that doesn't have the money, well, if they've gone through the education over the last 6 to 12 months, then they're probably going to be off on a better start compared to, Billy Bob out there with, mommy and daddy's money. So I just say that in a slightly comedic way, but it's true. This is where I say to anyone on YouTube, it doesn't matter if it's 2,000 or 25,000. The money should not be the concern. The education should be the concern. You need to learn before you can earn. So, that's where I see most, people out there online, especially on like X. If you see people post on Twitter, oh my God, no one knows what they're talking about on Twitter. That's just where you need to educate yourself first, right? So that's where I'll kind of leave off with, at least if you're on social media right now. Real briefly, Rich, second call on this. If you could be so kind to just copy and paste the Traders Talk recording out there, just to all of our members inside the live trading room. Folks, we're going to wrap up at least for right now. So we'll be back on the mic coming up just shortly after 3 o'clock. Remember, keep in mind, we have a paid class coming up here at 3 o'clock. As a gold, platinum, or diamond C2 level student, you have access to Fausto's advanced class. So definitely make sure to click that link to join. As a trial member, that is something that you do not have access to just yet. It's something that we encourage you to take part in, but after you finish up with your trial. So, right now, just sit back and see if this is for you or not. But otherwise, we'll be back on coming up here in just about 10 or so minutes, folks. Talk to you all soon.